I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Allegany County Board of Education for November 12th, 2024. Would everyone please stand for the pledge of the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First on the agenda is the reading of a closed session summary for executive session held October 15th. Mr. Llewellyn.
The Allegany County Board of Education met in closed session on October 15th, 2024 at 4 p.m. here at the central office. The purpose of the closed session was to consult with legal counsel, discuss a personnel matter, and engage in administrative function. All 5 board members were present, and the vote to go into closed session was unanimous. The topics discussed were teacher resignation, audit bid, student discipline, local advisory committee appointments, MPIA dispute, electric school bus grant, and RFP for after-school program meals.
Thank you. Next is the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Dr. Bond,
Second.
second by Ms. Bender. Any questions? All those in favor? Unanimous. The next is the superintendent's report. Mr. Avery? Mr. Blank?
Good evening. The first weekend in November annually is the culmination of the end of a tremendous unit of study known as high school marching band. And all 3 of our bands had exceptional seasons, and I was proud to see their halftime and their competition sets for all 3 bands this year. And I'm always blown away by that whenever I see it. When you consider how difficult it is just to suit students up to do a parade, to be able to get on a marching band and compete with artistry, visuals, musicality, and achieve scores like what I'm going to read to you is exceptional. The first acknowledgement I would like to make is for Fort Hill High School. The Fort Hill Marching Band is under the direction of Dr. Joe Thompson, and accompanying Dr. Thompson are several special people. Their drum major is Kiara Lindsay. Their woodwind student leader is Skylar Donaldson. Their brass student leader is Preston Crawford. The percussion student leader is Gunnar Wilson, and their color guard student leader is Charlotte Crawford. Matt Stoops is here. He is actually associated with both of our acknowledgments this evening. He is our resident expert in color guard and visuals. And Whitney Cowgill, the color guard advisor for Fort Hill High School, is also here. The band created a show titled I Wish. And they went to the Atlantic Coast Championships for the Tournament of Bands competitive circuit. And they won first place in Group 4A with a score of 92.63, which is exceptional. They also swept the major categories. They won Best Music, Best Visual, Best Guard, and Best Percussion. I'd like to report, there's a student that isn't here this evening that I think it's special to recognize. Flute player Alexa Schilling is a student at Fort Hill, and she was awarded a $2,500 Tournament of Bands senior scholarship. It's the first time in the history of the school that anyone has received an award like that. She's also a Career Center student. Dr. Thompson, is there anything I forgot to mention about your exceptional performance? All right, a round of applause for their accomplishment.
Just a couple of questions.
Sure.
First of all, congratulations to all the hard work and parents, our parents here. We know that it takes a lot of work for the parents to make sure all the trips, all the different things, fundraisers, all the things that you do in school administration is here, and all the advisors. But I want to ask the kids a couple of questions. First of all, did you know you had it when you were competing, when it was over?
Yeah.
Was it the best? Was it the best one you've done?
Not our best run, but I think it was a really good one.
Yeah. How many schools were there?
In our group,
Yeah.
we were the only one.
Okay. In the beginning of the year, from when you first started and you were challenged with what Dr. Thompson having you do, how long did it take before? When did you see the it was all coming together? Because people don't realize when you're out there in August, and probably even some things before that, but where you start and where you end up, how was your timeline there?
I would say that I saw it all come together whenever the prop was finally finished. Like, you painted a huge circle with a star on it, and whenever I saw that and it like coming together for a big hit,
Yeah.
I saw the show.
Well, congratulations. I don't know if anyone here, I'm sure several of you have seen all of our bands perform in different functions, whether it's parades but the halftime events that we've seen. I've been fortunate enough to see you several times, so congratulations and well-deserved recognition here tonight for everybody. I'm proud of our music programs.
Thank you very much.
For the opening?
All right. Thank you very much. But wait, there's more. At the same event, Allegany High School's marching band competed in the open class for essentially all the competitive marbles for the event. And they made state history by winning the event for the 4th consecutive year. Just to refresh everyone's memory, in 2021, Mr. Jackson's last year, they won with a show titled Gravity. In 2022, they won with Mr. Fromm's first year with a show called Radiance. Last year, they competed with a show called Up to the Skies. And this year, with a score of 95.7, they competed with a show entitled Both Sides, where they also won Best Visual and Best Guard. Accompanying Mr. Fromm are senior Travis Wilson, juniors Bryce Bridges, Isla Board, Ivy Board, and Jeff Redman, sophomore Elias Trexler, and Annie Moorhead. Did I miss anyone? Okay, good. And they are also accompanied by, you're also Allegany's?
Yes.
I did not realize she was also Allegany's color guard advisor. And Matt Stoops, again, is an expert designer for both of these band programs, and he deserves a lot of credit for their artistic success on the marching band field. Did I miss any important details?
I don't think so.
Well, round of applause. This is a fantastic score. Round of applause.
Mr. Fromm, how many schools were at the competition?
Oh, there was
Just to ballpark it.
over 50 overall, but and in ours there was 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, between New Jersey, Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania.
Now, for the students, when y'all get there and you're warming up, and these other bands that are in your level of competition, are they all looking over at you because you're repeaters? Do you feel that at all? Yeah. And we must embrace it because it doesn't seem to bother this group at all. So congratulations. And I thanked, recognize the parents, administration, your teachers, your advisors, and community with all the support that they have for your band. I was sharing with the other group, fortunate enough to see you all perform several times throughout the year. And it's exciting. We're proud of our music programs and proud of you all for your competition and your success. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you.
Job well done.
Thank you again.
What's the name? What instrument?
She's color guard.
Color guard. Salem Trexler is a color guard student who also won a $2,500 scholarship.
Getting a scholarship, which is from the judges, not just the association. This is the first time our school has ever won one from NJA. Yeah. And I probably didn't know, our color guard won for the 8th time. We now at Allegany have the most color guard wins of anyone in TOB's 64-year history. So last year we were tied with 2 other programs across multiple 9 states. This year we made it number 8 and we won the most.
They're all 7 and you got 8.
Yeah.
That's no small part to your dedication to all the programs.
Thank you all for all that you do to support them.
Good evening. Although we've just experienced a lengthy and welcome warmer than usual October and November, unfortunately it's a guarantee that winter is on its way. Hopefully not too soon, but when it does arrive, the Transportation Department will be making road checks, and we would like to share with you the process that takes place in recommending whether a recommendation will be made to have a weather delay or school closure. A lot goes on in the Transportation Department well before the crack of dawn on those days when winter weather is in the forecast. 3 Transportation Department staff members will be checking weather and road conditions. One checks the southern end of the county, one checks the eastern end of the county, and another the western part of the county to the Garrett County line, and actually well into Garrett County to Finsel. Each monitors weather conditions, road surface conditions, road temperatures, and air temperatures in their area, and reports the conditions to the supervisor, who records the information while checking weather forecasts on various media and internet sites such as AccuWeather, theweatherchannel.com, WeatherBug, as well as news stations. Radar is monitored for current conditions as well as forecasts for later in the day. Obviously, we rely heavily on professional meteorologists. We have to. They're the professionals. But weather forecasting is far from an exact science, especially in Western Maryland. As a quick example, last year, one morning, the hourly forecast for Frostburg at 5 a.m. was a 74% chance of measurable snow on AccuWeather.com, but only a 24% chance of measurable snow on theweatherchannel.com. I was there. It did not snow. I don't recall seeing a flurry that morning. In anticipation of wintry weather, the Transportation Office contacts Allegany County Roads regarding plans for the start times for its roads crews. Operations may be contacted to evaluate the condition of the schools and the lots. Local school bus contractors may be contacted regarding their buses and lot conditions. Nearby counties, Garrett, Mineral, sometimes Washington, even Bedford, are also contacted to evaluate the potential of the weather impact on their school systems. County and state alarms take precedence over area conditions. The supervisor evaluates the conditions with all the information he receives prior to 5 a.m. and contacts the school superintendent. If a decision is made to delay or close schools, the supervisor of transportation notifies the public information officer. As a time frame, a decision to delay or close school is pushed out to the public by 5:15 a.m. via messenger call, text, and email, Facebook, and our website, ACPS website. If a 2-hour delay is called, conditions will be reevaluated, and if conditions call for a closure, a decision is made by 7 a.m. If a 3-hour delay is called, conditions will be reevaluated, and if conditions call for a closure, a decision will be made by 8 a.m. Now, all attempts will be made to make the best decision possible to eliminate sending out additional changes after we make the first one. Early dismissal decisions due to weather need to be made by 11 a.m. Should point out that we do not have a bare road policy. That means there could be times buses may travel on snow-covered roads to some extent. Bus drivers are instructed that if they encounter roads that would make travel difficult, to pull off the road in a safe area and radio the office. County roads and state roads are contacted and asked for assistance. County and state roads have always been quick to send help when needed. We do have a cold temperature wind chill policy. If the ambient air temperature is a sustained 0 or below, or the wind chill is a sustained 15 or below, schools may be delayed or closed, depending on the projected forecast for that day. The winter months are tough on a lot of things, buses certainly included. And while it can be a stressful time for many of us, I'm consoled by the fact that we are in Western Maryland and not Western New York, or Western Minnesota, or Western Montana. Of course, it would be nice to be in Western Florida. We will all do our best and hope for a mild winter and an early spring. And I thank you for this opportunity to share with you our winter weather procedures.
Mike, I just want to acknowledge all the hard work that goes on prior to the wintertime coming up. That's one of the reasons we make sure that everybody has an opportunity to hear all the things that we do, because getting phone calls, it's not about what the temperature is at somebody's house. You have your own places that you check temperatures, and we do the very best we can possibly do. And ultimately, if you're not comfortable sending your child to school, you do not have to. So if you're concerned as a parent, you can, that's not a problem in those situations where they're calling for different things and you're not comfortable doing that. But the recommendation, they're always solid, and we don't always get it right, but you get it right pretty much most of the time. So I just want to say we appreciate all your hard work, and when you make that call at 5, you have it's amazing all the information that goes into making that decision. And it's a tough decision, but we thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rumgay.
Good evening, all. Since the beginning of the school year, our staff and students have been educated on and participated on the 5 emergency responses, which again are hold, secure, lockdown, evacuate, and shelter. We continue to work on being consistent with our messaging and communication. We use the same language in sending the information to the media as well as robocalls to the parents. If a school has been placed on hold, we use that term in sending it out to the media release and again the robocalls that are made. Using the same terminology when communicating with emergency responders has been very beneficial, as they attended the I Love You Guys training back in July with us. The standard response protocol and the standard reunification method, it's been quite a process so far since July, but collectively we are quickly learning what the emergency responses are and how to properly conduct them. In addition to what I just mentioned, we've also placed posters in high traffic areas in our schools. Same posters displayed on our webpage. A copy of the responses was also provided to every school for each student's take-home packet at the beginning of the school year. Currently, I'm working on a reference guide that will be given to all ACPS administrators. This guide will provide valuable information on each emergency response in detail. It also provides sufficient information to refresh school faculty members at the beginning of each school year. Finally, I'd like to thank the administrators, teachers, and students for their efforts and cooperation through this learning process. Questions?
Mr. Rumgay, with the new verbiage, it's not new anymore. I think our county is pretty used to the new verbiage that you introduced and have the path that you have us going down. The state of Maryland, actually. So we appreciate all the information that's been pushed out. And when we go in holds or secures, making sure that we're transparent as much as we can be. And people need to know that we're not getting into the situation. We're just notifying everybody that we are in a hold or we are in a secure for the time being. There's a lot of different situations that would be confidential, whether it's health related, but we do send that information out. So we appreciate you and getting a hold of Public Information Officer and getting that information out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is a proclamation for recognition of American Education Week, which is November 18th to the 22nd. Ms. Fraley.
So the Board of Education would like to issue this proclamation. Originally, it was going to be presented to Ms. Kimberly Sloan, the president of ACEA, but she was unable to make it today. And I believe, Stuart, we're going to hand it to you. So if you want to come up, and I'll read the proclamation and then I'll bring it over. So the proclamation is, whereas public schools are the backbone of our democracy, providing young people with tools they need to maintain our nation's precious values of freedom, civility, and equality. Whereas by equipping young Americans with both practical skills and broader intellectual abilities, schools give them hope for an access to a productive future. And whereas educational employees, be they teachers, guidance counselors, librarians, administrators, and all staff, bus drivers, custodians, or food services, work tirelessly to serve our children and communities with care and professionalism, and work together to provide a safe and healthy learning environment. And whereas schools are community linchpins, bring together adults and children, educators and volunteers, business leaders and elected officials in a common enterprise. We now therefore declare November 18th to the 22nd of 2024 as the annual observance of American Education Week, together for safe, just, and equitable schools. Also for November 20th as Educational Support Professionals Day. Signed by Robert Farrell, President, and Superintendent of Schools, Jeffrey Blank.
Stuart, I know that Kim Sloan was going to present to you tonight about being the ACEA Educational Support Professional of the Year. So congratulations. And I was fortunate enough to have, Stuart and I have worked together, and Stuart's a type of employee that does anything and everything and then goes even that far, even beyond that. It was a pleasure working with him, seeing how he affected students through his day-to-day work. So we certainly appreciate, and it's no surprise that you're standing here today. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Blank, and thank you for the proclamation here. I'll see that Kim gets that. Yeah, I've been in the system for 28 years, and as Mr. Blank said, whatever is asked of me, I try to accommodate, and it's been a pleasure, and I do it because I love the kids, and we've came a long way in 28 years, so I'm just thrilled to be here and accept this award, and I thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Mr. Zumbrum is going to give us a short presentation on the history of the outdoor school. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, and thank Okay, thank you, Ms. Lepley, for forwarding the PowerPoint. And so yes, outdoor school, I was an instructor for 3 years now at outdoor school. And what impressed me as an instructor, because I'm retired and usually I write in the basement and I'm in the morning I'm just by myself. But anyway, I got a call to help out with outdoor school and really love it, working with the students. And I never seen so much joy out there. That's what really impressed me, how happy the students are. And I wanted to see, well, who were the leaders that caused all this? How did this happen? Because there was so many happy children week after week, year after year. And so I looked into it, and just to give you a feeling about how much fun the students are having. In the middle of the week, I asked this one student, how's your week going? And the student said, I am smiling so much, my lips are stuck behind my teeth. And that was, I get so many quotes like that, but I only have a couple minutes, so I'll move on here. And so this is the first patch. Outdoor school actually has been going, the board has been supporting outdoor school since 1948. It wasn't called outdoor school back then, it was called bird camp. That's when students sponsored by the board and supported by the board went up to the 4-H camp at Pleasant Valley. And it was, let's see if I got this down right. And that's a patch that students, I believe, were given at the very beginning to take home with them. And this is a lady who is credited by Kendrick Hodgson, one of Outdoor School's early founders in Allegany County. He says, quote, outdoor public school education in Allegany County began in 1948 under the leadership of Miss Helen Burns Miller. This was a program for 5th, 6th, and 7th grades interested in nature and was conducted the week after school at Pleasant Valley. And again, this camp was known as Bird Camp. And so she's one of the early founders. She was a fired-up lady. I've been reading about her, and apparently she was a lady of passion. She was a teacher, a professional teacher. And so it kind of began with Miss Burns firing everybody up. There was two other individuals that were very much in leadership at the very beginning. They were spearheaded the movement, I think, of outdoor school. And this is one of them. Oh, this is the school, actually, where it all started. This is where it was formerly outdoor school. Sorry, I couldn't get a better picture. This was when it was in ruins. This is former Mount Royal Elementary School, and one of the teachers there was a person named Jack Elliott, professional teacher who taught there. And he was, right after he got out of the Korean War, he got into teaching, and he was an outdoorsman. And so, let's see, what do I want to say about Jack Elliott? Keep it short. Let's see. Where are you at here, Jack? Oh, okay. So Elliott took his class to Camp Greentop at Catoctin Mountain State Park in June of 1965, a site managed by National Park Service. This was the very beginning origins of outdoor school in Maryland, was a place called Camp Greentop. And Allegany County educators were so favorably impressed with the program at Camp Greentop that they immediately planned to make plans to expand the program to Allegany County to offer opportunity for 6th graders from at least 3 schools each fall and spring. They went for a week in the fall and in the spring. So, and he was very successful, another person, very dynamic person, who fired everybody up about outdoors, the greatness of being in the outdoors, and how good it would be for students to be out there and experience it. And so, if you notice here, though, unfortunately, Helen Burns Miller and Jack, Mr. Elliott, were taken away from us very early in our life. They both died in their mid-40s, and so we lost major leadership in the outdoor school movement. But one person that you probably all met at one time or another, who did have a very long life, was Kendrick Yale Hodgson. How many knew Kendrick? Okay, yeah. He was a great guy, on fire, he loved birds. And so about Kendrick, let's see, I'll read a paragraph or two about him. I don't want to ramble on, that's why I'm reading, so excuse me. In 1967, he was promoted to supervisor of high schools, and he took over for Mr. Elliott and put in charge of the science program in all 12 grades. Hodgson took over the responsibilities of camp director at Outdoor School, and he held that position in 1982 until he retired. Under his leadership, Outdoor School was extended from 2 weeks to 6 weeks, with 3 weeks in the fall and 3 weeks in the spring. So the idea of Outdoor School was students who would have a hands-on experience, things that they couldn't do in the classroom. And also they would enjoy a school camping experience. And this was inspired the leadership, the national leadership for this happened in the Midwest. And they set the guidelines for this, that what made it different from in past history was that each county board supported the school and set the curriculum, supported it financially and established a curriculum. It was run by the county boards. And that's what made it different from all the outdoor experiences since the beginning of our country began as far as school programs. In 1970, they actually won a national recognition from the Science Teachers Association of Programs for Environmental Education. So 1970s, it got national attention. We were fortunate he lived a very long life. And he took over Pleasant Valley, as you know, I think so why I'm here, I not only give a quick history lesson on first generation of Outdoor School. I could go into second generation, but I don't have much time. Pleasant Valley is like an incredible place to have Outdoor School. It's 1,300 acres. It was built by the Works Progress Administration. Some folks thought it was a CCC camp, but it was actually a Works Progress Administration who built it in 1936. Took 2 years to build it. They built roads and cabins to the camp. Cabins a lot of it is American chestnut. They dammed up the creek, and now it's a 12-acre lake, a beautiful lake. Students have the opportunity, without busing them, there's 3 beautiful places they can take hikes. There's a bog, a swamp, that's 328 acres. They do a beaver hike around the lake. They do canoeing, fishing, and all kind of classroom experiences also in the outdoors. They also learn how to paddle in a canoe and fish, so they're getting incredible experiences, and they are enjoying it. So my particular classroom was a 2-sided building, and so we're outdoors almost 80% of the day doing activities with the students, and they are outdoors too. In the rain also, it rains, we don't stay inside, it's raining, we go out. And it's just a beautiful time of season, the beautiful colors, some scenes from the camp at fall. This is what you see in the fall when we're out there. And so I am here not only to give you a little history lesson of the school. I was hoping that you will continue supporting as those who have served in your positions since 1948 Outdoor School. And I'd like to close with a paragraph. If you don't mind, I think I've got 1 minute left. At Outdoor School, many students have their very first real encounter with the wonders of the natural world. They experience nature firsthand. They can hear the call of the barred owl, and they see the spot cedar waxwings, kingfishers, pileated woodpeckers. It's set at the beautiful location of 4-H camp, and they witness dramatic changing of fall colors such as shagbark, hickory, sugar maple, and an assortment of other trees. Each morning they observe the magnificence of the sunrise above the mist of Cunningham Lake. Nature's beauty is truly stunning during the fall season at the camp. So this is what I've witnessed. There is an energy and happiness here that is difficult to capture elsewhere as young people interact with nature and make new friends and learn amazing new things daily. Rachel Carson once said that students remember such experiences for a lifetime, helping them to find new, quote, reserves of strength that will endure as long as life lasts. So thank you for the time, and it is my hope that you will continue supporting Outdoor School. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Do you know, why did they, First of all, I'm all about outdoor school. I went, I think in '77 we would have went in 6th grade.
I didn't go with you.
No, I know, but you went the same year.
Yeah.
So in 6th grade I went, and then I went in my junior year as a counselor, and in the spring or fall and spring in my senior year. So I've been there 4 weeks.
Okay, oh, great.
But anyway, why was it shut? I just want to make sure that I graduated in '83, that it wasn't shut down in '84 because of something I did.
Oh, no, what happened? Oh, that's a great question. Kendrick Hodgson retired in '82, and they're trying to find leadership to take over from him. And there was a lot of organization going on. I think there was consolidation going on at that time. So there was a lot of organization. I think there was some budget issues going on at that time. And so there was a hiatus for 24 years and didn't start back up again in 2008. And what happened was Kendrick Hodgson passed away in 2004, and all these condolences came in from students from the county and saying that was the best time of my public education. It was a highlight. And so folks like you took notice that I was serving on a board. Among them, Fred Sloan. I saw he had a tree dedicated to him out front. He spearheaded I call it the second generation, starting in 2008, and along with Mike McGowan. Those are two I often hear are credited with the great leadership that continues to this day. The second generation started 2008 and is still going on to present. And so, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember when Mr. Hodgkin was the principal at Mount Savage School, and he put a nature trail down on the east side of the school, runs down over the hill there. And
Yeah.
I don't know how many acres it was, but all the kids, went down the nature trail, and he was always there to, help out and,
Oh, yeah.
and tell them everything. And what a dynamic individual.
Yeah, and so Allegheny County was blessed to have such great leaders, and it continues to this day. I have witnessed it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I don't think we have anyone signed up to speak, but if someone wants to, nope, good to go. New business. Consider first reading of registered sex offense policy, KIA. Mr. Llewellyn.
This is a modification of an existing policy, and essentially it clarifies. There was some confusion about the policy, I think, publicly, and so this provides much more clarity. It removes any possibility for an appeal process for somebody who is convicted of a sexual offense against a minor and or is a registrant under the Criminal Procedure Article of the Maryland Code. It also provides, though, that if a registrant or a convicted sex offender against a minor would have a child in the system, that they can still participate in parent conferences and IEP meetings and administrative meetings via conference call or remotely. So I'll note that there's a regulation that rides with this policy. On second reading, you also will review that policy. It'll go away because it deals with the appeal part of it. So this will clear this up. It's a more stringent policy than we've had in the past.
Motion to approve first reading.
Motion to approve the first reading of file KIA.
Ms. Lepley?
Second.
Dr. Bond? Any questions? All those in favor? Unanimous. Next on the agenda, student board member is ill this evening, so she is not here. So there'll be no report there. Any board member updates? None? Wow. We need a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Dr. Bond?
Second.
Ms. Lepley? All those in favor? We are adjourned.